In our failures lie hidden secrets that, upon closer examination, can lead us to success. People often pay more attention to success than to failure. We celebrate successes and repeatedly analyze the hidden factors behind them to understand the reasons for success. In the market, stories of successful people are compiled and sold under the name best practices so that people can learn about the stories of such individuals and the factors that made their success possible. Similarly, successful individuals sitting at the forefront of gatherings inform others about their successful actions which, if adopted, can ensure success for them. Contrary to this, failures are usually kept hidden, and people who remain unsuccessful in their endeavors feel ashamed to mention their failures. Psychology experts Nisbet and Wilson from the University of Chicago's Booth School of Business believe that we often learn more from our successes than from our failures because we do not learn from others or our own failures. Similarly, we also overlook evidence that indicates our relationship is not working out or that we are dissatisfied with our performance. We don't pay attention to failures and don't make the effort to learn lessons for success. Revealing failures makes people hesitate. Research in the past has also shown how unproductive it is to dwell on current or future failures. Psychology experts Thomas Webb and colleagues from the University of Sheffield termed this attitude the strategic effect. Whether we are looking at a new sports routine, building a company's website, or preparing for an upcoming epidemic, human nature tends to start chewing on something once we start it symbolically. Instead of assessing our progress, we keep on chewing on it and continue to hope for improvement. Psychology expert Gabriel Oettingen from New York University's research indicates that thinking about what will happen if we don't achieve our goal can increase our chances of success. Now, Nisbet and Wilson have conducted further research in this series, focusing on our reluctance to test our and others' mistakes. In their recent research, they told dozens of teachers to remember when they succeeded and when they failed. When asked which stories they would like to share with their colleagues, 70% said they would share stories of success. The same thing happened when they told hundreds of online respondents to remember when they were successful at work or when their attention waned. Most of them did not want to share their failures related to keeping their attention, even though they had not shared their successes yet. So much so that when researchers asked them to send a message to future generations, people preferred to send a message of success rather than a message of failure to impress others. Information-packed failures? Nisbet and Wilson say an important factor is that we do not realize how informative failures can be. They conducted an experiment to test this. They created a routine task in which avoiding mistakes was crucial for success. They wanted to see if participants would share information about their mistakes with their fellow participants, whether they shared information about their successes. For this task, online participants were given 3 boxes to open. One box had 20 cents, the second had 80 cents, and the last one required them to give 1 cent back. Then they had the opportunity to tell the next player in the game so that they could help each other. They were also told that the next player would also give them their information later. But the researchers set up the situation so that each participant either opened the 20-cent box or the empty one. This meant that either the participants always benefited from sharing information about their failures, or they always benefited from sharing information about their moderately successful attempts. This setup always allowed for the benefit of sharing information about failure, as the next player would either not open the empty box or open the 20-cent box. This meant that it was always beneficial to share information about failure, not about one's moderate success. Sharing failure can ensure that the next player does not open the empty box, but sharing information about a 20-cent success can still lead to the next player opening the empty box. However, researchers still found that at least a quarter to half of people shared their success rather than their failure, although sharing failure could benefit the next player. We underestimate the importance of failure. Researchers later obtained further evidence on this by a quiz. Online respondents tried to guess the meaning of ancient symbols. There were 2 possible answers to each question. One group was told that they did not have time to give the results of their estimates, while the other group was told that they had given the wrong answer to all the questions. When asked which set they would like to help the next players with, 70% of the people offered help on the set of questions they had not yet been given the results of, although they now knew the correct answers to all the questions, as there were only 2 possible answers to each question. Both experiments showed that people overlook how useful failure can be. Pay more attention. All this new research shows that many of us can benefit from learning from our failures. Fishback says, in times of failure, ask yourself what you have learned. How can I benefit from this lesson in the future? He further says that learning from failures is difficult because they hurt our self-esteem. That's why it's not just important to pay attention to failures, but it's essential to pay more attention because learning from them is difficult. It is difficult to admit our mistakes, but if more of us start doing so, we will all benefit more from these lessons.